Who else is still upset about Love Is being canceled? I know I am. We're not getting that back. But the good news is we were gifted with this new Netflix show produced by Brock Akil called Forever. And it's an adaptation of Judy Blume's 1975 novel. This series centers two Black teens who explore romance, identity, and just the impact of that first love. So in today's review, I'm breaking down Forever through its powerful themes, the cast, performances, and one of the best soundtracks I've heard in a long time. So let's get into it. And before we get into the cast, I have to give Brock Akil her flowers. You might know her as the powerhouse behind Girlfriends, Being Mary Jane, The Game. She was a writer on Moesha, The Jamie Foxx Show, and she of course created one of the best shows called Love Is. This list just goes on and on. She was the youngest African American showrunner on broadcast network television when she created Girlfriends. She also holds the distinction of being the first African American woman showrunner to have two series concurrently on broadcast network TV when she created its spinoff, The Game. She was the only African American showrunner to have a series on TV every year from 2000 to 2015. In 2009, her scripted series was one of the only two in 2009 with a predominantly Black cast. She started as a production assistant on The Sinbad Show, and before its cancellation, she wrote some scripts for the producers. They liked them, and this earned her a writer's trainee spot on South Central. And the rest is history. The talent, the determination, this is the magic of Mara. She is phenomenal. Mara has always advocated for and given upcoming actors pretty new to their careers a chance. I've always loved that about her, and I love to see that continue in Forever. The cast was perfectly selected. So let's get into those. Lovie Simone plays Keisha Clark. She's best known for her role as Zora in Greenleaf. We were introduced to Keisha Clark at a very challenging time in her life. She's a track runner and aspired to make it into Howard University on a full scholarship, but a lot of her excitement was overshadowed by her sex tape that got leaked. She's very intelligent, even hiding her good grades sometimes because she didn't want the students thinking she was smart. Her character gave 90s vibes from her clothes and jewelry to just her overall vibes. Michael Cooper Jr. plays Justin Edwards, a very emotional and passionate teenager. He plays basketball but realizes over time his true passion is producing music. His character has ADHD, and as I was watching, I was like, he's unnatural at this. Through his mannerisms and subtleties, he was able to depict this character so well. And I found out that he does have ADHD in real life, but he says his is in a different way. He also said he was going through a breakup during filming, so he really challenged himself and was able to channel that pain into the character, and he did a great job. And I thought both of the leads did a great job at depicting the awkwardness of being a teenager and getting to know someone, the giggles, the awkward pauses. Karen Pittman played Justin's mom. Her performance was one of my favorites. She gave such a great performance. She had this mama bear, I'm gonna protect my son energy that may have seemed a little over the top at times, but you could still feel her love for him through it all. I really loved the moment when Justin was so distraught after him and Keisha broke up, and he was on his way to school and he just started crying in the back seat, and she validated him and let him stay home from school. She didn't say, this is stupid, you're young, you have nothing to worry about in life, which is what a lot of parents say. She validated him and she gave him a safe space, and I thought that was really special. And what really balanced everything out was Justin's dad, played by the great Wood Harris. I love him as an actor. So he owned a restaurant called Linden to honor his hometown, New York. I absolutely loved his parenting style. He provided and led with so much guidance and made sure he was intentional about having talks with Justin about sex, how to politely approach a girl at a party, and telling him if she looks too drunk, don't even engage, how to handle if you get pulled over. He did all of this while also giving Justin the space to make mistakes and learn from them, which is something that his mom really struggled with. And seeing her struggle with this, he nurtured her, but also held her accountable. And she just naturally submitted to him with ease. Everyone in the family's actions showed how much they respected and loved him. His performance blew me away. We also have Zosha Rockamore, who played Shelly, Keisha's mom. I think this is my first time seeing her in something, but she was amazing. I felt like she was a natural. She had real raw talent, and I'm looking forward to seeing her in some more roles. Justin's best friend Darius, played by Niles Fitch, who the real ones will know as young Randall in This Is Us. Barry Shabaka Henry played Keisha's grandfather, who really stepped up and played the father role since Keisha's father was absent. And speaking of Keisha's father, he was played by Will Catlett, and I know for a fact Mara did this for the Love Is fans. She did this for us, and I feel special. So seeing him made me so happy, and it was such a great touch to add him. There were so many powerful themes woven through this series, including family, first love, sexuality, self-discovery, Black identity and representation, and the challenges of navigating adolescence. The family dynamic is one of my favorite things about this series. We saw love not only through Keisha and Justin's relationship, but we saw positive love through family and not constant trauma like we're so used to seeing in so many shows. We saw constant support and togetherness from family and community. We saw Black excellence. Justin's family, they were high-achieving parents who were pretty well off. Keisha's mom started off with an underpaying job, but she made sure to strive for better and ended up with a higher-paying job to provide for her and Keisha. I love that they included the trip to Martha's Vineyard and highlighted Oaks Bluffs, which is where all the Black people go, and so I thought that episode was really enjoyable. What I loved about Keisha and Justin's relationship was they heavily showed their love for each other through music. As teens, a lot of times you just don't have the words, so them speaking through music by sending each other songs to listen to that describe how they feel was such a nice and creative touch. They of course had their teenage fights that come along with teenage love, the blocking each other, etc. It was truly a roller coaster, and this was written in such an immersive way. You felt like you were on the roller coaster with them. I felt every bump, every high, every low. Music was the anchor of the series. It was the heartbeat. Each song was intentionally selected to tie into what was happening in specific scenes, which completely elevated the feel of it all. The music often enters before a shift happens, almost like an emotional foreshadowing. A scene might open in silence, but as the music creeps in, you realize something's happening, something's changing, and you feel it before the character even reacts. An example of this is during one of Justin and Keisha's arguments. Keisha runs away, and as she's running away, you hear the song Time Moves Slow start to fade in. And the main lyrics are, running away is easy, it's the living that's hard. And it really encapsulated what Keisha was going through and feeling in that moment. Another example is when they got into another argument, and this time Justin stormed off, and it was Keisha who was following him all around town, and Janae Aiko, While We're Young plays. And you know, the main lyrics in that is, I'll go wherever you go. So the intentionality of the music was so great and added so much to the scenes. I watched an interview and Mara said she actually listens to music while she's writing, which inspires a lot of what she writes, and you can see just how much music influences her through all of her work. A lot of people wondered why it was set in 2018, and it was primarily to reflect the experiences and anxieties of young Black people during that time, with the major impact of police brutality on Black communities, which were significant concerns for Black parents during those years, which explains why Justin's mom was written in the way she was. Due to what was occurring in the world, it led to a heightened sense of fear and anxiety among Black parents, which I think can really translate well into a second season, with them kind of expanding on that and transitioning into COVID and how that may affect their college experiences. So let me know if you'd like to see a video with my season 2 predictions, and let me know what you think may happen in season 2. I've seen a few people say the ending had them in shambles, and for me, I actually felt relieved. It actually calmed my nervous system, because the worst thing that happened was them breaking up and coming to a mutual agreement to take a step back from their relationship and find themselves. What's sad is I actually felt like I was holding my breath the entire time, waiting for something bad to happen, and it didn't. No one died, no one got pregnant. I truly appreciate that Mara gave us art that didn't involve us suffering and enduring trauma. I think the moment they walked away from each other, it showed maturity, it showed possibilities. I think Justin and Keisha came into each other's lives when both of them desperately needed it, and it happened for a reason. So we don't know if in the future they're gonna circle back around or if it was just for that season. So I was satisfied with the ending. I liked it. And I want to take a second to also shout out Regina King. She is the executive producer of the show, and she also directed the first episode. She's another powerhouse who I feel we don't talk about enough, and I'm definitely going to start creating my version of unsung, but in the TV and film world, of artists who I feel are overlooked and don't get enough credit. We needed this. This series is the magic of Mars. She crafted a beautiful representation of Black love and Black excellence. We got to experience love depicted in a positive way that didn't involve trauma. There were so many parts where I just could not stop smiling. The cast was perfect. The cinematography was perfect. The music sent me into another universe. And we saw love through the lens of these teens, watching them figure it out along the way, seeing the effects it had on their families and those around them. This is the most beautiful emotional roller coaster I've ever seen. Mara crafts her art in a way in which it evokes so many emotions, and she makes you feel things. So I really enjoyed this, and I'm gonna give this series a 5 out of 5. This was a masterpiece, and I can't wait for season 2. Thanks for watching another episode of Screen Diaries. My name is Camille. Chimera. Until next time, bye.